WWL-TV, Channel 4, New Orleans. Michelle Miller, Mike Haas, and meteorologist Carl Arredondo. This is Louisiana's news leader, Channel 4's Eyewitness News Nightwatch.
Dozens of shots ring out at an uptown gas station, leaving one man dead. The matriarch of the Kennedy family passes away. We'll look back on her life. And the mayor of Port-au-Prince, Haiti, arrives in New Orleans to talk trade. Good evening, everyone. New Orleans' 1995 murder rate has nearly doubled this weekend. 9 people were killed throughout the city, the latest less than 2 hours ago in Uptown. Shots rang out at the South Claiborne Avenue gas station around 8:30. When it was over, a man who had been pumping gas lay dead. At least 30 cones surround the unidentified victim's body, marking each shell casing police found. It's one indication of just how many rounds were fired. One witness who didn't want to be identified had just talked to the man seconds before the attack.
When I turned to walk off, hit it out, all I heard was just shots, and I hit the ground, started running to the station.
Witnesses say there were at least 4 men who ran out to the pumping stations shouting obscenities before they fired. Another witness says the victim appeared to be an intended target.
Because they didn't have enough time to talk with him. I mean, I was inside, so I didn't hear anything, but there wasn't enough time to have any kind of conversation.
Just bam, 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 bam.
That was it. They came in, they shot him, and they took off.
Police are searching the area for suspects. Witnesses say the men fled on foot and were possibly wearing ski masks. She was once described herself and her life as a series of agonies and ecstasies, all in the public eye. Tonight, the matriarch of the Kennedy family died. Jacqueline Adams has more on the life of Rose Kennedy.
She was born into politics. Throughout her youth, Rose campaigned actively for her father, Congressman and later Boston Mayor John Honeyfitz Fitzgerald. Overcoming his objections, at age 24, she married banker Joseph Kennedy, and during the next 18 years, they had 9 children. For Rose Kennedy, the family became her life's work. She once wrote that she would rather be known as the mother of a great son or a great daughter than the author of a great book or the painter of a great masterpiece. And measured by that yardstick, Rose Kennedy stood tall. She mothered a president of the United States, 2 U.S. senators, and a World War II hero killed in the line of duty. She mothered a mentally retarded daughter, whose condition, through the efforts of her family, has been the single most positive influence on the treatment and public perception of the disorder in this country.
We had a daughter born a year and a half after our second son, who later became the president. And in those days, there were few doctors or scientists or teachers who were interested in this problem. And the mothers, like me, really were frustrated and heartbroken.
As grandmother, she encouraged another generation towards public service, the cousins, whose potential is not yet fully realized.
I, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, do solemnly swear
that you will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
That I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
The highs were as high as they get. The lows, unspeakably devastating. She credited her devout faith with carrying her through the disappointments and betrayals, the deaths and assassinations. According to Rose Kennedy, how you accept, how you cope with what happens, how you cope is the important thing, not the events themselves. In more than 100 years, she traveled from the streets of Boston to the Court of St. James, to the White House and beyond. It was a century of personal triumphs and tragedies, excitement and heartbreak, soaring peaks and deep, dark valleys. Through it all, she prayed and persevered.
You must be very pleased.
Yes, I'm delighted, very happy.
Jacqueline Adams, CBS News, New York.
Rose Fitzgerald Kennedy was 104 years old. Back in New Orleans, firefighters are on the scene of a 3-alarm blaze in Uptown tonight. Flames broke out just before 9 p.m. in a vacant house on the corner of Irado and Barone. Authorities are still investigating the cause of the fire. No injuries were reported. 6 days after Japan's big earthquake, the death toll is still rising. National police report almost 5,000 bodies have been counted. About 165 people are still listed as missing. There are no reports or new damage after 2 more sharp aftershocks rocked the Kobe area today. A suicide bombing by Islamic militants has killed 19 Israeli and wounded about 60 others. In a swift response to the attack, Israel's cabinet has sealed the West Bank and Gaza Strip. The order also freezes prisoner releases and delays opening a passage between the areas of Jericho and Gaza. Israel is also calling for a suspension of peace talks with the PLO. In other news this evening, a big New Orleans reception for the mayor of Port-au-Prince, Haiti. A traditional jazz band greeted Mayor Evans Paul tonight at New Orleans International Airport. He's in town to follow up on a meeting with Mayor Morial last month in Haiti. The two will be talking about trade issues this week. Mayor Paul will visit Baton Rouge on Wednesday to talk with representatives from the governor's office. Later in the week, he'll be in Washington for the U.S. Conference of Mayors. Up next on Eyewitness News Nightwatch, Star Casino officials send a letter to their employees dealing with the future of the gambling boat. And doctors on the North Shore get some high-tech help in the operating room.
Lakeside Toyota announces cash back on Tercels. That's right, $1,000 cash back on over 50 Toyota Tercels in stock. Or how about 0 down, $189 a month on every Toyota Corolla in stock. And backed by popular demand, 4.9 APR, 36 months on every Toyota Camry in stock. And we got over 100 to choose from. That's Lakeside Toyota, North Causeway at Lake Pontchartrain. #1 in Louisiana with parts and service still open to midnight.
Toyota's the place. We'll put a smile on your face. You'll love what we do for you.
Don't just watch TV, live it with a big screen TV from Kirschman's Electronics Department. And with any big screen purchase, get any VCR for half price this week only. Get this 48-inch Toshiba for just $50 down, $50 a month with picture